Putin's price hike is hitting Americans at the pump. Because of Vladimir Putin, gas prices are up nearly 90 cents since January. And right now, the oil and gas industry is sitting on nearly 9,000 unused but approved permits for production on federal lands. There are more than 12 million unused acres they have a right to drill on that are unused. It's time they use them. U.S. oil companies made nearly $80 billion in profit last year. That's all public information. Some are investing, but others say they won't, and it doesn't matter what the price is. One CEO even acknowledged they don't care if the price of a barrel of oil goes to $200 a barrel. This is not the time to sit on record profits. It's time to step up for the good of the country, to invest in immediate production that we need to respond to Vladimir Putin, to provide some relief to customers, not investors and executives.
Okay, so this video from the White House is absolutely absurd, but we have to talk about why. First and foremost, their claim that Putin is to blame for the increased cost of gas just really isn't true. The reality is that the per barrel cost of oil is about as low as it's been over the past 10 years. There hasn't been a steep climb in the cost of oil that would lead to any resulting cost in gas at the pump. But despite that reality, the prices are still going up. And there seems to be this very popular line that it's all about Putin's war that's causing this. And then in order to respond to that, once again, false claim, the Biden administration is pushing back on oil companies, saying that they need to pump more gas. Think about this for a second. The premise is fundamentally untrue. The reality is they are just price gouging, and they are using this war as an excuse to price gouge because it provides very easy cover for them. But even the most basic investigation into the reality shows that there's no real material increase in cost that is a result of the war. But instead of dealing with reality, the Biden administration is accepting the claims of these oil companies at face value and saying that their response should be to pump more oil. Now, why is this absurd? Well, think about it for a second. Is pumping more oil what we really want to do right now? I mean, literally, the most recent report from the International Panel on Climate Change is freaking out, saying that we have like 3 years to decarbonize our economy. Otherwise, we're going to face extreme and dire consequences. But amid that, the Biden administration is saying, hey, pump more oil, right? Think about it for a second. It is absolutely absurd. It is categorically evil. Right now, the world is falling apart. Glaciers are melting faster than scientists expected. We're getting tornadoes where they're not supposed to be. Hurricanes are getting worse. Wildfire season is now year-round. All of these disasters are escalating around us, and it is because of climate change. But instead of doing anything to materially deal with climate change, to actually work to decarbonize our economy, Joe Biden is turning around telling them to pump more oil. Now, you could say, but Ben, the price of oil, it's going up. The gas at the pump, it's hurting working class people. Guess what? There's a ton of other things that Joe Biden could do instead of asking them to pump more oil. First and foremost, he could nationalize the oil industry. If this is really that such of a dire situation, then maybe he could do that. He could also push for price controls. Those things would be very easy. He could even negotiate price controls. He could use federal contracts and executive orders to say you need to sell oil to us at this rate, and you need to also sell that to regular American customers at this rate. The U.S. military buys a lot of oil, so it would be really easy for them to negotiate a contract like that. There are tons and tons of options at Joe Biden's disposal in order to put in place price controls. But this is where the obsession with market economics just absolutely destroys any potential for a real response to climate change. Joe Biden is insisting on some type of market control, putting in place a simple measure to just tweak the supply and demand. But markets don't operate on supply and demand. That is a fantasy. That has always been a fantasy. Just because some guy drew 2 lines on a fictional graph doesn't make it reality. The supply and demand curves are fundamentally assumptions at their core. The reality is people need to get gas to go to work. Oil companies know this, so they can basically set the price to whatever they want it to be. And there are so many things in our economy that operate this exact same way. By choosing market controls, what Joe Biden and other liberals do is just concede the right to organize our entire economy to billionaires who own these companies. And any talk of price controls or nationalization, policies that socialists would advocate for, are seen as too radical and extreme. All while right now we are facing a very extreme climate catastrophe. The scariest thing about this is that this messaging is probably going to work. And there's probably a lot of centrists out there that are looking at this saying, yeah, we should really pump more oil, completely forgetting that climate change is still something that we need to deal with. So congratulations, Biden. You've successfully made a lot of Democrats pro-oil and also, in the process, pro-destruction of the earth via climate change. Just another shameless move from the Biden administration, demonstrating that he actually doesn't care about working class people and definitely doesn't care about the future of the planet. All he really seems to care about is making sure that oil companies are making a profit.
This is Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can catch my show Galaxy Brain on the Young Turks Twitch channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to stay up to date with my content, you can follow me at Benjamin Carollo on Twitter. And for those of you that might be wondering or have noticed, my pronouns are in fact she, her.